The built environment around us may seem like a recent invention, but civilizations have been building real estate for thousands of years. And even thousands of years ago, project stakeholders were looking for ways to make their construction more efficient, reducing costs while also maximizing the resulting outputs. Today, construction cost management is really a huge challenge. Real estate development has only become more complex. Global markets and macroeconomies more intertwined and volatile, and municipalities more cumbersome to get projects approved and permitted. Projects require more planning than ever, and successfully executing on a commercial real estate development requires a lot of things really to go right. So one of the ways that real estate developers are trying to stimulate success is through deliberate construction cost management. It's not something that really should be left up to chance. Now in this video, I'm going to cover some of the tips and tricks for managing construction costs, from pre-development through construction and post-construction. What's up everyone? It's Matt Marsh with Marsh & Partners. Marsh & Partners is a development and national consulting firm that helps business owners and investors maximize their real estate and transform their businesses. Now, if you're enjoying what we're doing here and want to keep seeing more content like this, please hit that like button, share this video and our other videos with people you think might find some value in them. Now, in order to manage construction costs, it's important to be able to differentiate between the different kinds of costs you encounter during a project. Costs can be broken down really into a couple of different categories: hard and soft costs, or indirect and direct costs. Now, hard or direct costs are the expenses directly related to the physical construction of a property. Things like construction materials and labor, any equipment, subcontractors, and all the work associated with the land development are considered hard costs. Now, indirect or soft costs are not directly tied to construction, but are equally as important to a project. Things like architectural and engineering expenses, review and permit fees, legal, financing, and administrative costs are all examples of soft costs. But the reason it's important to understand the different kinds of costs you'll encounter during a project is because of how your project's design and soft costs will impact the overall budget. Now I'm going to dig into that a little bit deeper now. The pre-development phase of a commercial real estate project is critical to the success of the development. It's where all of the real estate due diligence, feasibility, planning, and land entitlement activities happen, and when the architectural drawings design is fleshed out. Now, it's important to note that all of the design work, including the site plan and any building plans, will impact how much the project costs. If you're cost conscious and construction cost management's major goal of the commercial real estate project, those details will really need to be worked out early in the project. So as a real estate developer, you need to clearly define the scope of the project and identify any critical objectives and requirements early to avoid overly designing a property. Once the scope's defined, it's important to establish a realistic budget. That budget will help guide the design the entirety of the project. The budget should be created with critical cost drivers in mind. So for instance, in some projects, the site itself may present major challenges, and the earthwork will likely be the major cost driver. You may need to import a lot of fill dirt, or blasting's required, or stormwater needs to go underground, or maybe the site's topography requires extensive retaining walls. Accurately estimating site work and land development costs will be helpful when making these decisions. Now, sometimes instead of site characteristics being a major cost driver, the location of the land itself could be. Parcels in highly desirable areas, based on critical site selection fundamentals, will be more expensive than land in less desirable locations. Additionally, depending on the municipality, the application, development, permit, and impact fees can vary greatly. You'll want to account for these as you create your development budget. By identifying the major cost drivers through the project, you'll be able to isolate those expenses and then focus design efforts around minimizing them. Now, during pre-development, the design efforts are usually managed by the civil engineer for site design and by the architect, who will manage the floor plan and building elevations. Keep in mind that architects, they're wonderful project partners, but many aren't good with cost control or cost estimation. I've seen too many projects go off the rails because of overzealous architects and poor design management. Now, it can be helpful to get a general contractor involved during the pre-development and design processes early to help. They'll have some insight into construction and material costs, and they'll be able to assist in project value engineering or helping control design. Design optimization is a critical component of construction cost management. It's important to periodically estimate costs during the process to make sure you're on track and within budget. Project owners should consider getting their commercial real estate development plans really priced at a couple of different milestones. Normally I suggest after schematic design, at several points during design development, and when the full construction drawing set's complete for the architectural drawings. Now obviously, all these strategies are easier said than done. It's common that once a project gets started, it begins to take a mind of its own. So as a real estate developer or project manager, your role is to orchestrate the different consultants and third parties and make sure everyone's rowing in the same direction, according to your vision and your vision only. Managing construction costs begins during the pre-development phase of a real estate project, but it doesn't end there. Now, once you're complete with land entitlement and you're preparing to break ground, there are ways to continue to refine your processes and manage costs. I'll talk about those next. Now, if you didn't select a general contractor during pre-development, that'll be the first focus here. A contractor will be your linchpin when it comes to cost-effective material procurement and vendor or subcontractor selection. COVID showed us that supply chains are fragile, and disruptions to supply chains cause major ripples across commercial real estate development projects. A contractor will help you anticipate long lead materials, schedule early release packages, and make sure the materials are sourced within budget. Too many projects have become derailed because of long lead items that have delayed COs, even after construction is complete. Now that translates to increased carrying costs and lease-up timeline delays that can absolutely blow up pro forma. Now recent AI advancements have actually made procurement more efficient and should be leveraged to assist with construction cost management. Now when selecting a contractor, it's important they have a track record of selecting quality subcontractors. The subcontractors really are the ones on the site daily, and they're doing the work. So you should solicit bids from several vendors to ensure you're getting a good value for their efforts. But both material procurement and subcontractor selection all start with finding the right GC, a contractor that places an emphasis on value engineering and efficiency. Real estate developers need to be anal about the contract that they negotiate with their GC. Time and materials, cost plus percentages, and fixed fee contracts. There are several different types of fee arrangements that you might see. Each structure has pros and cons and will impact the contractor's incentive to be cost conscious. The most important thing to remember when negotiating a contract with a GC is to best align their incentive structure and their fees with timely and cost-effective project delivery. Once construction begins, effective construction cost management becomes even more critical. Developers should be tracking costs in real time. Don't simply rely on a contractor to do it for you. Request regular expense ledgers and invoices so you can reconcile expenses and ensure construction budget compliance. You'll also want to avoid project change orders really as much as possible during construction. In some cases, they're inevitable. But if you were diligent during pre-development and you made sure that the construction documents were detailed and comprehensive, you're much more likely to minimize expensive changes. But probably the most important step to managing construction costs during this phase really is simply communication. Regular project meetings with contractors and stakeholders will keep the team on the same page, but also offer opportunities for collaboration and real-time feedback on ways to maximize efficiency. Now, once a project's finalized, the contractor's punch list complete, and a certificate of occupancy issued, the job's still not done. Capturing lessons learned and self-auditing the entire pre-development and construction process is important to refining and implementing new cost management strategies. In the Army, we used to call these after-action reviews. But the premise is that while we might not be able to turn time back and undo mistakes for the project, we can certainly outline improvements for the future. Effectively managing construction costs requires planning, continuous reflection, and refinement. And as a developer, being self-critical is important because it allows for professional growth and really can enhance your cost management practices. Now, real estate developers spend decades and many projects codifying their construction cost management practices. Despite anyone's best efforts, it's impossible to control all aspects of a project, but you can implement left and right limits on your designers during pre-development to optimize project design, and on your contractor during material procurement and construction to focus their efforts on value engineering. These cost management strategies are all suggestions based on industry best practices. You don't want to wait until construction begins to then start trying to manage costs. Instead, like I said, it starts during the first scope meeting you have with the civil engineering team during pre-development. Now, none of this is to say that every aspect of a project needs to be optimized simply for the sake of reducing costs. Small businesses still need facilities to be practical and to complement their operations. And developers still want to create unique destinations that people enjoy. But as long as cost decisions are considered, your project is much more likely to be successful. A real estate development consultant can help stakeholders manage the fine line between aesthetics and efficiency. And it starts with assembling the right development team based on the project goals and objectives. From managing design professionals, to helping implement systems to track expenses, to helping value engineer commercial real estate development design, Marsh & Partners can help assist on your next project. We're developers by trade, but enjoy working with growing small businesses and other real estate developers really looking to create the future of the built environment. You can check out our real estate consulting services to learn more about how we might be able to help. Now, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on content to help you through your real estate journey. You can also check out our website for more real estate insights at marsh-partners.com. Feel free, leave me a comment if there are any other topics you're interested in or you'd like me to cover. And again, don't forget to subscribe if you want more content like this, and thanks for watching.